It's looking a little bit moody. Welcome to episode 6. Been a little bit of a short working week this week, down to the weekend, and I've got a party to go to on Friday. But anyway, let's talk about what I've been doing this week. This is going to be one of 3 frames what's going to make up the crawl through or the walk through to the habitation box. So yeah, I'm going to be welding this together. There's a couple of corners, like I said, 3 frames comprising of 50mm angle, 30mm angle and 20mm angle. So I'm going to have this powder coated, and like I said, I think maybe in episode 5, before the box completely goes onto the truck, I want to, or need to really cut through into the cab there. Hence why I'm making the frame now, so if it needs modifying or adjusting, I can do it before the certainly before that end panel goes on. Now the panels are being delivered tomorrow morning. We're going to have them here, hopefully, and then it's the shortest distance to get them on the vehicle. Whether we can lift them on is another thing, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So yeah, panels going on. That should be relatively straightforward. So right, okay, let's have a look round and see what I've been doing then since last time we saw the vehicle. So I've put the side lights back on. So these are 2 new side lights at this end because they were stripped off with the truck strip off. These are back on, as you can see, and so on. AdBlue, according to what I've checked on and so on, I believe you can have the ECU reprogrammed not to use AdBlue, but it is an illegal offence to do that. So I'm going to see how I go with AdBlue, see whether it is expensive or not. Like I said, this is my first vehicle with AdBlue, so I don't know exactly what it's going to be like. I think the dash says I've got half a tank, and which is probably about 20 litres, I'm guessing. I've got a 1,000-mile radius. I don't know whether that's good or bad or what really, but yeah. One of the questions last week were if I'm going up to the Arctic, I'm going to need a heater in here. Apparently, looking at the cables and reading the manual, this has got an automatic heating system. So once the temperature drops down to minus, this heater will kick in and keep the AdBlue from freezing. One of the other questions were about the tyres as well. These tyres are Michelin XZLs. Now they are a mud and snow tyre, they've got the M&S on there, but they haven't got the 3 peaks. So I'm a little bit like, I know it's compulsory to have 3 peaks on your tyres when you go certainly up into Norway. Whether I can get away with these, I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? Can I get away with it, or do you know a tyre what I can use or swap these for what has got the 3 peaks on there? On the back now then, everything's all set up, all the nuts are all nipped up and tightened. The side rails have all been lined in as well, so these are all perfectly straight, and I'm going to say level, but it's not, it's straight again on the underside. So I had to slack off the nuts in the centre there, and just basically retighten them really. I had to drill a couple out just because I'd slightly moved, but that's about it. You can also see I put some 1/2-inch plastic on here because we've got an 1/2-inch step. Well, we've got 6mm there, and we've got 6mm with the thickness of the alley. So when the sheet sits in here, it's going to go and rest on these plastic strips. A vent. I need a vent in this locker. With it having the LPG tank, somebody suggested maybe having a vent. I have ordered some stainless steel vents, 30mm diameter, to put in the bottom there. So I am going to put a vent in bottom there. Let me know what you'll think about that, whether it's a good idea or not. Yeah, but the truck is coming on nicely. This rear cross member here, we haven't fully bolted that up yet because we may have to slide the side panels in through this way. So it's bottom first, then wedge off the bottom to put the top in, and then once the top's wedged in we can slide the side panels in. And like I said, I may just leave this end off and the other end, certainly the other end, until I've done that crawl through. So that's that. Right, okay, I promised you last week the Cinderella toilet, and yeah, I didn't get round to it, so I'm going to show you the Cinderella toilet. Right, why have I gone for a Cinderella toilet? Because it ties in with a massive upgrade from eBay. Now, just looking at our history, we've been living, working from and travelling in eBay now for 9 years. So we've had 9 years of van life, shall we call it. The system what we've got, the toilet what we've got in eBay is a porcelain toilet. It's a water flush and it empties into a 100 litre black tank. Now for 2 persons we can go quite easily around about 8, maybe 10 days before we need to empty his toilet. Now don't get me wrong, it's fantastic. You know, if you're heading up into the mountains, you don't have to worry about, you know, finding a toilet disposal point or anything like that. You know, you've got a full week to find a toilet or a motorhome emptying station or a service station. What you tend to find out is, you know, you're on the road and you pass a small town or village and you see the toilet emptying sign, you see the motorhome service point sign, and it's like, well, with toilets, you know, the black tank is half full, let's empty the toilet. So it does away with needing to empty your toilet or find a place to empty your toilet every day, every other day, especially if you've got like a toilet cassette or something like that. So the black tank works really, really well. Now, like I said, this has got to tie in with all our system, and like I said, this vehicle is going to be a massive upgrade from eBay. Now, starting off with the solar panel, we're going to have, or solar panels, we're going to have more solar panels on this vehicle. So technically we should have more power coming in, which means we can use the induction hob a lot more, which means we're going to be using less LPG. We've got an LPG tank what's twice the size. So with using less LPG for cooking, then the LPG can go to help flushing this toilet. Now, thinking we're getting this camper ready for Arctic conditions, if we did have a black tank, would either have to have the black tank on the inside of the habitation box, or if it was on the outside, it's got to be heated. It does away with all that. You know, yes, these may be, you know, expensive, but when you're doing away with the tank, or you don't have to buy cassettes, then it works much better. Not only that, it does away with using water for the flush. So in eBay we've got 400 litres of water, and 400 litres will last us normally around about 7 or 8 days, and that's 1 shower per day. You know, there's probably 10% of that what we use for the toilet, to flush the toilet. So we've done away with having to need to flush the toilet as well. So some of that water, this means we can still have a 400 litre water tank in the Arctic Fox, and we've technically got more water because we're not flushing it down the toilet. So that's his reason for for selecting this toilet. Now, yes, there's composting toilets. We nearly went down the composting toilet 8-9 years ago when we built this first truck. Nothing wrong with them, nothing wrong with them. But same again, you've still got that problem of emptying your toilet. Now I know it's a lot greener than a chemical toilet and so on, but nevertheless you've still got to find some place to empty your toilet or put your toilet waste. Before I open this, I'm not going to allow any adverts from YouTube on this episode. So, but I am going to put the advert for this toilet here. So watch this and I'll come straight back to you.
Cinderella Travel is a modern and environmentally friendly toilet solution that represents an entirely new waste management method for campers, caravans, and mobile homes. Regardless of location, nature will always call eventually. Cinderella Travel involves no septic tanks or emptying. The final product is merely pure ash, which can be emptied anywhere. It involves no chemicals, is odorless, and does not require water. Cinderella Travel enables you to travel freely anywhere you want. The Incineration Toilet is a complete waste management solution, which means it eliminates all waste. The waste products are incinerated at a high temperature and thus reduced to a minimal amount of ash, approximately 1 cup for 4 people during 1 week's use. Cinderella Travel is offered by a selection of producers. It can also be retrofitted in your camper or caravan. Cinderella Incineration Toilet, when nature calls.
Right, okay, let's have a look at the toilet. Just firstly, I've got this through the LeeSan or Lee Sanitation network, okay? They have a massive network, and to put it in a nutshell, LeeSan have been making toilets for over 40 years. So if anyone's going to know anything about toilets, you can trust these guys, okay? They also do worldwide shipping, so you can get one of these shipped all over the world, and these are considered the most eco-friendly toilets on the planet, okay? Yeah, we'll have a look at this then, shall we? So opening the box, yeah, we've got the poop bags. So we've got the fixing bracket, back bracket, another box in here. Oh, these are the cowls for the roof, the chimney. One thing with this toilet, as well as having a chimney when it burns and incinerates the waste, you also got to have an hole in the floor or the side for air to be sucked in. So there's 2 holes in the habitation box, one up on the roof and then one in the floor or wherever. So these are the bags. These are the poop bags. So this fits in your toilet, and this is where you do what you do. And then this drops through into the combustion chamber and sits there. And when you're ready to flush, you just press the button and it starts through the burning cycle. Right, okay, plenty of reading to do. Right, okay, let's have a look at this then. Right, so we've got some cables here. This will go to the control panel, I'm guessing. We've got the chimney, and yeah, we've got the toilet. Don't know what that is. Let's have a look. Don't know. So this looks like a ceramic pot, and I'm guessing then, let's get the paper again. So every time we go to the toilet, we do that. I put the bag in the wrong way. Yeah, I can see that now. Let me show you again. Yeah, so the bag goes that way, and you can see it goes tight up to the front there. I'm sure I've read an article somewhere that they use these down in Antarctica. There you go. Okay, I'm not going to force anything, but yeah, underneath here you've got the burning chamber. So the bag falls into the bottom here, and then it says for 4 persons you only need to burn this once a week. Yeah. Right, that I would say is the unboxing. I'm looking for the control panel. Let's see if we can find the control panel. Ah, right, okay. Found it. Okay, so that is the control panel. It also comes with a 3-year warranty. The power supply is 12 volt and it uses 110 grams of LPG per flush. And like I say, you're only actually flushing it once a week. And obviously the beauty about something like that, the only waste what's from this is just a cup full of ash. So you can empty that anywhere. So this will actually increase our off-grid potential so much. This means that we can go out into the sticks and stay out into the sticks for weeks on end, providing we can get water from a stream or a pond. We can purify the water. No need to be dumping his toilet in the river, in the trees, or wherever you know, some of us empty his toilets. Yeah, we've got a great unit here, and I'm really looking forward to fitting this and be using it someday.